Hello and welcome. My name is Shivanie and this is my creative critical reflection of the opening scene of I See You. So let's meet the team. Here we have myself, Sarah Alexander, who played the murdered girl in our opening, and Jennifer Blandon, who played the stalker in our opening. Because they were both actors in our opening, I was the main filmer. So how did we create our film? Well, starting off as a group, we knew that we wanted to do a mystery. But came the question, what type of mystery did we want to do? Well, there are so many different types of mysteries, such as historical, horror, thrillers, and even comedies. We decided to make a mystery thriller considering our ideas for the storyline we wanted to create. We went through a lot of trial and error, but our final idea about a girl who gets murdered by a stalker who had gotten a hold of her through text definitely topped the cake. We thought that this was reasonable and doable. Our first two ideas didn't just cut it. We didn't know what type of online argument to make or even how to make an opening with that storyline. Okay, so let's look at the basic outline of our opening. Well, our opening consists of showing and sending out a message to young adolescents that it is dangerous to be walking alone at night, and the dangers that social media can cause. In the beginning, we show an overview of the young girl's murdered body. Towards the middle, we hint at the girl's smartphone device. And at the end, we show a flashback to what occurred, giving the viewer some background knowledge as to what happened. We decided that using the message being sent of I see you would be smart to use it as the title as well. We also feel that this is a mysterious title. Okay, so our goal for our opening, especially being a mystery, we wanted to create suspense, and we really tried to do that during our flashback scene. So I'm now going to play our final opening. Okay, so let's talk about our experience using genre conventions. Going into this project, we wanted to make sure that we had everything planned out and everything made sense. For instance, we had the choice as filmmakers to stay within our genre convention or try something new, basically challenging the genre convention. For the most part, throughout the opening, from the mise-en-scene, editing, sound, and cinematography, we stayed within our genre convention. Okay, so for example, in the mise-en-scene, we dressed the characters appropriately for each shot. This was very important, taking into consideration the stereotypes of what these characters wear. The murdered girl in our film was dressed in a white shirt and jeans. This was to show that she was casually going somewhere. The use of the white shirt was critical. This was the only color that showed the blood in its entirety and represented innocence. As for the stalker in the opening, she was dressed in all black, including a black hoodie that covered her hair. Black was the best color for this role. It portrayed secrecy but also evil, staying in our genre convention. But we also contributed things to make this opening as realistic as we possibly could. So we contributed some materials. For example, Jennifer contributed some fake blood. I contributed some crime scene tape. Sarah contributed chalk and her white shirt and jeans. Okay, so editing was also a huge component. With editing, we tried to make the transitions invisible, trying to blend them in and make them fade into another, so it isn't as noticeable. Normally in mystery films, there isn't much of a fade. There's mostly the use of cross blurs. But with our opening, we just didn't feel as a group that it was giving the meaning that we wanted. We wanted to challenge our genre convention and added in different types of transitions to entice the feeling that we felt it was giving off. So with sound, we stayed in our genre convention through the use of high-pitched sounds and loud, eerie music to give off that suspenseful feeling. Through the use of cinematography, we also stayed within the conventions of a mystery film. We used close-up, over-the-shoulder, and even medium long shots with slow to no movement. These are the most shots and movements used in a mystery film. In regards to social groups and issues, we stayed within our genre convention. Most mysteries show someone getting murdered, but they never really show who did it, and that is exactly what we tried to capture. Our opening showed a young girl going somewhere when she suddenly gets a mysterious message from an unknown number. This is definitely something that could happen in real life and still fits in with our genre convention. So signing with a big production company. While conducting research, my group members and I considered the possibilities of signing with a big production company versus a small production company, and the likelihood of getting accepted to work with them. For example, signing with a big production company is great because your film will get distributed quicker to the public. But what is the chance that you will get accepted? Especially being a first-time director, it would be nearly impossible. While on the other hand, signing with a small production company also has its benefits too. You wouldn't have to persuade as much, but your film might be most likely unheard of for a while, making it harder to pay back those production and distribution companies. But in the end, we decided on a small production company considering our film experience and cost. So how will our film be distributed? Our film will be distributed by using online streaming platforms such as Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime Video. This will allow our viewer to enjoy our film without having to go and buy a DVD or other forms of distribution. Not to mention, this will also bring comfort to our viewer knowing that they have the opportunity to watch our film from the comfort of their home. Well, what about movie theater exhibition? ICU would not be exhibited in movie theaters because the chance of someone actually watching our film would be significantly lower. So what is the target audience? The target audience for our film would be from ages 13 and up. Because of the meaning portrayed, the blood scenes, and storyline, it wouldn't be suitable for someone younger than 13. These age groups would watch ICU because it would make them interested in the storyline enough to watch films. This would also entice and engage many viewers that really like mystery shows and those type of suspenseful things. Well, let's talk about my journey. Starting this class, I wasn't very excited or interested in it. I didn't understand the meaning of having to analyze a film and write down notes about different types of genres and their conventions, when all I had to do was pick one genre for my final. But now I realize just how important everything was. Everything I did and learned paved the path to where I am today. Not only are the conventions important, but the editing process as well. Without editing, your imagination couldn't come to life. I now know how to edit efficiently and consider these genre conventions when going through the process of completing my final project in all of its different elements. Especially learning how camera angles and sound can make a huge difference. Although my production skills have improved significantly, I still find editing tedious but still important. At the beginning of this class, I was lost. In the middle, I started to grasp the information. I was actually having fun doing the mini projects and completing my blogs. Now in the end, I'm quite happy with how I'm able to look at a film differently and consider all the things possible to make my opening as well as a professional's. So let's talk about some personal changes. As I was filming, I noticed in the beginning I would say go or start, but now I say action or even cut. And this is a pretty big thing, especially for me. I wasn't very comfortable saying action or cut in the beginning of filming, and I think just getting to understand film more in depth, this really did change for me, and as you can see, it changed in a positive way. So, once my group members and I revised what we thought would be our final edit, we noticed that we needed to change some things. Okay, so one of the things that we noticed we needed to change was the sound. The opening of our sound previously, it was more of like a low tone, like melody type of sound, and we really wanted to follow within our genre convention and give off that suspenseful feeling. To do that, we added in high-pitched sound. We also had a problem with the quality of our opening previously. We had just our normal quality, like normal video quality, but looking back, we did think that adding a different type of quality, not necessarily a black and white throughout the whole opening, but just something that would make it a little bit more rustic, kind of, more mysterious as to what happened. And to do that, we added in a more grainier look through a filter on CapCut. So finally, we had to change one of the parts that we filmed because you could see a cut in the shot, and we did change that before we posted our final production, and it just made our whole opening run a lot smoother, and it really improved. So looking back, I'm definitely more knowledgeable and skillful in films and everything that makes up the meanings. Between the conventions and stereotypes of different films, watching a movie, I can now see the conventions and stereotypes taking place in the film. I'm also more adept in editing than previously. I now analyze each shot and make sure the sound corresponds with it rather than just adding in a sound. So, some of the equipments we used for production would have been my smartphone device. It made it much easier than using a digital camera, especially at school. My phone was easily portable, and it was also easier to just hit record, and it saved us a lot of time. I didn't have to watch tutorials to learn how to work my camera. So being able to use an editor on the computer made it easier as a group to collaborate and try out different filters and change different things around without actually changing our original video. This, again, wouldn't have been possible without technology. We did use WeVideo to edit our final production. This editor was very simple to use. It had multiple audio tracks. It had free sound and audio. It also had different types of credits and transitions, and it also had a black and white filter which was very, very critical for us because we wanted to do that flashback. And I feel that WeVideo definitely saved us a lot of time. It wasn't as advanced as we previously thought it was going to be going into this project, and I'm very, very happy for that. I learned that using technology can also be very difficult sometimes to get exactly what you want, exactly from an editor and those type of things. But on the other hand, it can also bring you great joy, especially if what you imagined came true. And this is exactly what happened with the setting we decided to use was located outside behind our school. This was the perfect spot that looked like an alley, but a place that also didn't give away its location too much. As you can see in the picture, it looks like an ongoing wall, but in reality it isn't, and that is exactly what we wanted. Okay, so some of the issues we ran into. So this was an issue regarding my classmate's phone screen. As you can see in the picture, the angle that I was using wasn't appropriate, and her phone screen was dark, so you couldn't really see the text messages. We did change this. I changed the angles around, and we solved this issue. Another issue that we had was as we were attempting to do a fade-in of into the phone to kind of do a transition, what we had imagined, it didn't really work out that way. We tried to do it, and I tried zooming in and everything, and you can still see my hand, or it was very obvious that you can tell that I was zooming in. But we did fix this issue by cutting out the parts before my hand is seen and adding in a fade-in transition. Okay, so our conclusion. Overall, this project was like a roller coaster. As a group, we had some good days, bad, and even neutral days with no motivation. Even the weather played a huge role, resulting in some unplanned non-filming days. But my group and I are happy with what we have created. With all of our hard work being shown, I am extremely excited for you to see the final production of I See You. I hope you enjoy watching it, and leave me some comments on what you think on my blog. There you can see the process of me completing my final from a week-by-week standpoint or even a stage standpoint. There are also a lot of behind-the-scenes clips, so check it out and let me know your thoughts on the opening.